What's going on, guys? My name is Skrash, and today's video is gonna be the first episode of testing the subscriber teams. So basically, this is gonna be a series that I explained in my previous video, which I'm basically gonna be testing and analyzing some of the suggestions that you send. If you wanna enter into this process, it's really easy. You just need to, I would really appreciate if you subscribe and then you leave a comment and send me a message in Instagram or Twitter, like whatever you want. You can just leave a comment and that's enough, but if you want, you can send me the message on Twitter or Instagram. And yeah, I don't have a lot of followers there, but if I see that some people are following me there, I might start to upload some stuff there, at least with some stuff that it's not worth doing a video about. So it's actually cool that I can post some stuff there. But yeah, so in today's team, I'm gonna be testing actually four teams. But before I start, I wanna actually mention that I really appreciate all of you guys who showed me some support with comments on the video and a lot of ideas. I have gotten a lot of suggestions, and yeah, I am only able this episode to showcase four teams. Maybe in the future I will showcase some other teams of the suggestions that I got now. But if there's gonna be definitely an episode 2 if I get more ideas. So for the next one, just leave the comments on this video or the previous video that I uploaded, which was basically the video in which I announced that I wanted to do something like this, and or just send me a message. And then if I find your team interesting and I can actually test it, because some teams I cannot actually test, then maybe it's gonna be inside one of these videos, which I think is really a really interesting thing. So yeah, and also before I start, I wanted to mention that I have been getting a lot of suggestions, for example, of dex teams, of strength teams, or even some int teams that we're using some units that I'm missing, because I'm missing Legend Kit for the dex team, Sweet Commanders for the strength team, and Halloween Shanks or Halloween Law for the int team. So I couldn't really test these teams, but I'm definitely looking forward into the future. Whenever I can pull these units, I will definitely be testing those teams, so don't worry. And also, I got some suggestions that look really interesting, but I didn't have some of the legends, for example, or one or two at least of the legends invested at all. So investing into a legend is kind of a hard thing to do. So I don't really care if it's like a weird rare recruit, a weird Fortnite unit. I can fully max them if I need it to test a team. But the legend it's a whole different level, because it's a lot of investment of scrolls. But yeah, in the future, if I can slowly start investing into those units, I will be testing them too. So yeah, the four teams that we're actually gonna be talking about are actually, wait a minute. This is the first one. So it's gonna be kind of a rainbow team, but with the Stampede, Usopp, and the 490 Ororashi. I'm gonna be talking about specifically what this team does, though. And then we're gonna be testing the second one. Is gonna be this kind of a Roger Noden team with a lot of special city up, and I'm gonna be talking about how that team performs when I showcase it. The third one is gonna be a Free Spirit team, which I really like, and I think performs really well. And as you guys see, yeah, there's a Roger, but there's not like Odin, stuff like that. So, and it's a 7-man team, so it's not a team that can scare, I guess, that easily. So yeah, that's why I think it's good. All this team in general should be like defense team, but you can also use it as an attack team is if you want. I don't think it will get as high of a win rate, but for example against weaker slasher teams, you could also try it. And the fourth one will be this kind of a healing based team. So this is actually a pretty funny team and pretty interesting one, because it will not kill a single unit of the enemy team. It's just basically built to stall out the enemy team, and it works quite well. Unfortunately, I have been testing a lot this team and different variations, and I don't think it can stall out the meta slasher team. Against some weird variation of the slasher team, for example, that doesn't have Rogers, stuff like that, I think it can, and I have done it sometimes. But this team can stall out, I think, pretty much almost all the rainbow teams. Also, the same goes for and in teams and stuff like that. Maybe there's some in team that it's not able to, but yeah. So I don't think it's a really good defense team because it cannot stall out slashers. But on high ranks, like I mean, 4K or 5K stuff like that, and championship, I think it's a good defense team to run because some people are gonna be running kind of a rainbow team or weaker slasher teams, and you might be able to bait them with such a weird team with no damage at all. So that's actually quite nice. And also it's using kind of a weird units like the Skuma, the Chopper. So I think it looks kind of good. And I think out of all of these four teams, the ones that I think that are best to put on a defense team, you're gonna be seeing, but is these first two. But this third one also works kind of really well. But it's much more scary, I think, because it's an eight-man team with both Roger and Odin. But yeah, without further ado, let's actually start with the first team. So this team was actually suggested by a subscriber on YouTube. His name is Mirko Migliaccio. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. So, and it's basically this exact same suggestion. I think he was using a different unit that was not Sova Mask, but apart from that, it's basically the same team. I have not needed to do any variations. That's a really great team. So great shout out to that guy because this is a very nice team. So we're gonna be doing now two matches I've decided instead of three because if not it's gonna be a very long video. So and we're gonna be going up against the slashers. For example, I mean I'm gonna be doing for example like it depends on which teams. I'm only gonna be doing one match, but for example, in this case, I wanna be doing two or something like this, so that you can see that that it's pretty nice. The same with the third one that we are gonna be analyzing, which is gonna be that Free Spirit team, because I also thought, and I have been testing it a lot, and I basically saw that it was working quite well in general. So because it might be that some of these two matches we lose because of some RNG factor, but I will be showing you guys some screenshot that I have taken from some results of matches and something that so that you can see also some more results of these teams because I'm not really gonna be dedicating a whole video to those teams. So yeah, as you can see, Usopp basically is getting really low in HP, but that's just basically because Usopp has actually really low HP. He has like I think 3000 maximum, so he's definitely gonna be dying now. So we get an Odin, not fully maxed, but pretty maxed, and if we are lucky, we're gonna be able to get the special of Odin after Roger and Inuarashi activate, and that's gonna be absolutely massive because it's gonna be a lot of defense down. So here we give them a lot of defense down, as you can see. We're gonna have to tank the special of the enemy Odin, which is quite scary. Probably the Inuarashi will be dying, but it doesn't really matter that much. I mean, okay, yes, it does matter because here they actually kill our unit, so it's quite unfortunate that the first match that I do, it's such a bad result. I don't know what happened, but yeah, so here I'm gonna be losing this match. So I gotta tell you that I have done, for example, with this team, 6 matches and none of them have been like that. I'm gonna be showing you now the screenshots. But yeah, so I don't really know, but sometimes it can happen like this. If the Odin comes after Roger, then that GG. If you have similar defense stat than they have, and this is also applied, can also be applied to mirror teams with slashers. So yeah, there's not a lot that you can do with that, but you can at least help a little bit because we had a lot of bad RNG, for example, with our Odin when he entered being the first unit on the order of attacks because then we just didn't have the damage, so we killed. But that's why I wanted to do at least 2 videos to showcase a little bit more the potentials of these teams. As I said, that I might be losing some matches, so I want you to see also some good results of these teams for it, because for this one and for the Free Spirit one, I have been seeing that it's really strong for being more kind of a defense team. I don't know if I would use these kind of teams for attacking teams, but they are definitely quite up there. So yeah, here we're gonna be giving them massive defense down, and we're gonna be getting the special of Odin. So as you can see here, and they're gonna also be losing on a lot of defense now. So this is probably gonna be GG. So that's what I meant by, and yeah, it was only a 5-man team, but as you can see, it wouldn't really have mattered in if now a PP Whitebeard would have come in from the bench, because it's 7 against 1. So it doesn't really matter. And even if the Odin activated now instead of dying right before that because of a normal attack, it would have been okay. So at least this team works as well as the same slasher team against the slashers, so that's really nice. And I think it works a little bit better. So yeah, it's more like a defense team. It's not a counter or anything like that, but really strong team. So a great shout out to the subscriber that suggested me this video, because I really love this team. So here I have the screenshots of this kind of rainbow team. So here you can see that it won at least one of the times that I tested it against Halloween Law, against B3 Law. Now this match in particular was a very bad RNG match at the late game, so it was doing quite fine, and then suddenly the last seconds, with just 2 of the enemy units remaining, they managed to kill by normal attacks all of the units that I had left. But thankfully we had this bench to help us with that. But it was not really that close of a match, but it was just some very bad RNG at the very end of the match, with these targetings of the cost 1 units and stuff like that. PP Whitebeard missing, Odin missing, stuff like that. But here another against B3 Law, and the same. This was the exact same, like very bad RNG at the end. And here I have, for example, another example in which it's beating again B3 Law, but it was like the normal thing. Like this was actually a very good result. But yeah, the normal thing is what you have seen, for example, in the second match that I have done. But yeah, so let's see actually the second one. So the second one here, it's gonna be this one. So this team was actually suggested by a subscriber on YouTube, and the name is Andrea Freshy. Sorry again also if I'm pronouncing it not right, but and Andrea has actually been a really long time subscriber. I remember because he has been commenting on a lot of my videos since a long time ago, so I really appreciate your support. And I also really appreciate the support that a lot of you guys have been showing me since the start of the channel. So I remember some of the people that have been more active in the comment section. So really appreciate that. So shout out to all of you guys. But yeah, so he actually suggested this exact same team. There was not a lot of changes. As I said, this team works really well, and can actually get the Odin and the Roger to be in level 22 special city app. So it's basically a Rodent team based on special city app, because level 22 special city app is kind of insane. It means basically that the special of Roger and Odin is charging 44% faster. So that means that basically the second attack of Roger and Odin probably is gonna be activating. I mean, it depends, but in theory it kind of should. But yeah, it depends. You can have some kind of bad RNG with the second attack, but definitely the third one is gonna be activating. So yeah, let's see some matches. So here I have found a 6-man slasher team with a Calgar Nolan in the bench. All the units are max, but as I mentioned, this team is not working as well, for example, as the previous team that I showed, and as the Free Spirit team that you're gonna be seeing. Like this team, it's really cool to have so much special city up, but it does not in general perform as well, but it gets the wins. So as a defense team, I think it doesn't look as scary because yeah, I mean, you have both Roger and Odin and 8 units, but it looks kind of weird, but with all these healers and special city up and stuff like that. Also, it's worth to mention that this Viola Rebecca here with a high cooldown actually is a quite common thing that they die, and then you can get actually a pretty maxed out PvP Whitebeard from the bench, and that can actually help you a lot. And the heal can actually be quite nice because the tankiness of the Zoro is depending on the amount of HP that he has. So as you can see, we managed to kill the enemy Odin because our Odin is, if he attacks, he's definitely gonna be activating. It depends. It doesn't really matter if he's attacking at second 80, at second 82, stuff like that, because a lot of the times that is happening in a slasher team, and that messes up your whole run. Here we had some bad RNG with the targeting of my PvP Whitebeard, but I mean, we should still be okay. Yeah, the Doof is gonna be doing quite a bit of damage. He only kills the Tesoro. We get a fully max special of Rare Recruit NL, as you're gonna be seeing. Yeah, and he actually activates and finishes the match. I think maybe Dofi stays alive, but I don't think the other ones will. Oh, okay. The Law also stays, but that's just GG. So yeah, as you guys saw, it works really well, and I think I'm only gonna be showcasing, for example, this match, but I'm gonna be showing you now some screenshots. As I mentioned, I don't think it works as well as the first one and the next one that we're gonna be showing, but it shows some pretty good result, and some match like this one, it's kind of amazing that you can get something like that because all the units were actually max. You can see in the combat power, and it wouldn't have really mattered if the Calgary Nolan would have been any other unit like a PvP Whitebeard and stuff like that. Okay, we get some rewards, but yeah, so because actually the Calgary Nolan got one-shotted by my PvP Whitebeard, and yeah, they wouldn't have really stood a chance or anything. So now I'm gonna be showing you the screenshots, and we're gonna go with the third team. So here I have a first win against a weird slasher team with Mihawk. So this is the B3 low variation. As you can see, it was really close, and it actually was really close. It was not because of some very bad RNG in the late game with normal attacks and stuff like that. And here we get another win. That one was against a PvP Whitebeard, and it was not that close, to be honest. And okay, this is the next one, kind of a spoiler, but I think I have another one. Yeah, and here it's another B3 low variation. It has this kit in the bench, but yeah, I mean, also worked really well. And you guys saw the match that I just did, that it worked really well. So we're gonna be seeing now the third match. Sorry, by third match I meant third team. So here, this is the Free Spirit team, and the Free Spirit team, I actually really like it. So I was kind of surprised how it performed. So the original suggestion was from a subscriber, but he actually sent me a message through Instagram. So this was the original suggestion of the team. I decided to put Roger in it because Roger is just such an exceptional unit, and also change a little bit the positionings and stuff. But yeah, really impressed me how this team performed. The name of the subscriber is Gabe Tanumi Harja. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, but really strong. He also sent me some of the other teams. One of them was very similar to the first one that I showcased, so I decided I would just showcase one video like that, one team like that. But yeah, really strong. So as you can see, the changes that I did was basically putting Roger in it, making the 2 units in the bench instead of just an Odin, so that we can have a lot more options if one of the units die, and then well, changing put the positioning and putting Rayleigh in the middle just because it's an attacking team. So yeah, so really strong. Let's see actually some matches. So we're gonna be doing 2, I think, with this one because it's some of the 2 out of 4 teams that I saw that it was performing in a much more surprising way. So I wanna showcase that. I showcased it. I tested it more against B3 low variations. So maybe I will not go up against this Halloween Law variation, but I think it definitely can. But for example, here we're gonna go up against this 5-man slasher team, and we're gonna be seeing how it goes. The next one is gonna be a 6-man slasher team, don't worry. But this one is fully max because if we take a look at the combat power, only 5 units for over 40k, it's basically means that it's kind of maxed. So yeah, here as you can see, we have a lot, and I say a lot of speed. Look at that, level 21 on the units. Yeah, Roger doesn't have as much speed because he's not strength dex or quick, but yeah, Roger is just such a good unit that it's I think it's kind of required for this team, because if not, Stronghold Days and the B3 Kuzan could actually be dying a lot earlier than they are doing. So yeah, for example, I think the Stronghold Days will actually get to activate. I don't think the Roger will get to activate, but I do think that the Stronghold Days will activate, and that's really really cool, because apart from the Kuzan giving a lot of attack up to Stronghold Days, he's also buffing himself, so that's really nice. And we are actually also gonna get the special of B3 Kuzan, which is gonna be potentially even special binding some unit. Yeah, it doesn't special bind Kizaru, but doesn't really matter. As you guys saw, um, it's already kind of decided, because we just need, for example, the special of Roger to just kill the Kizaru and just end the Dofi right there. And it doesn't matter if he kills some units when he activates, if he gets to activate. He doesn't, but it doesn't really matter if he kills some units, because we have a full bench of PP Whitebeard and Solo Mask. So as you guys saw, it was working really really well, and even if there had been a unit there in the bench that had even killed, I don't know, like 4 units in my team, probably I would still have gotten the win, because I would have gotten 2 more units from the bench, and it would just have been 1 unit, because I killed a lot of their units at the same time, and the rest would have died with the special of Roger. So let's take a look at the second match. So here I found one. So here at least they have a Kalgaran Nolan. It would be better if I had been able to find a PP Whitebeard on the bench, but I mean, it's not bad. So we're gonna be seeing how it goes. The previous match worked amazingly well. Sometimes it doesn't work as amazingly, but in a lot of the cases it gets a win. Now, if I'm gonna say that, then maybe that's gonna be a bad luck. But I think I haven't actually lost a team with a match with this team. But I mean, I can definitely be wrong about that. I'm sure. But I'm gonna be also showing you guys some screenshots of the actual results of the matches. So yeah, we actually managed to tank the special of Odin, which is really really nice. And now the special of Kizaru will not be killing our units, but the special of the enemy Roger will. So that's kind of unfortunate, but luckily for us, we will get both the special of PP Whitebeard and Solomas fully max from the bench. So that's not gonna be that scary. It would have been, but it is not, because we have a full bench. That's what I meant by replacing Odin in the bench for 2 PvP units, because now we actually get a lot of damage and in 2 separate waves, and we have some defense to actually tank the special of the Dofi. The Kalgarnolan will not activate. We'll have to take the fixed damage, which can be really scary. But now, if we get the special of our PvP Whitebeard, we should be quite okay, because they do not have that much defense up, and we're gonna be giving defense down. So yeah, I think I will be losing this match. As I said, when you say you're gonna lose a match, you are gonna. So yeah, I just lost this match, but as you guys saw, it was really really nice how it performed there. I just had the bad RNG of 2 units dying, like the 2 damaging units dying, and then the Sulmas didn't really target a lot of the units in the enemy team. So yeah, was kind of bad RNG. So it was kind of unfortunate that I lost that second match, but here I have some footage of this team actually beating some slasher team. Well, this is true that it's just a 4-man team. This is the rare crude Inuarashi variation, and here we have B3 low variation. And you just saw that I beat a slasher team. So yeah, this team is working really nicely. Unfortunately, I actually lost a match there, but it doesn't really matter that much. I think now that I have analyzed it a lot, I think actually the first team that I showcase is the one that works the best, but it's also an 8-man team. So in terms of defense, it can be more scary. So I think this is actually the best defense team out of these variations because it works well against slashers and it's not an 8-man team, so it's not as scary and it has a lot of weird units. Doesn't have Odin, doesn't have the slashers apart from Roger. So kind of really cool. So yeah, let's actually go for the last one. So the last team was actually inspired by this suggestion of a subscriber coming from Instagram, and his name is Cropso, that sent me this team that he had seen some people use in Pyro Rumble in the championship, and he saw that it was very good at stalling out. So basically, it's just a defense team based on defense, obviously, but also on healing and stuff like that. So it's not based in damage at all. So it's not gonna be killing any units, but it's based on stalling out and healing a lot and stuff like that. I did actually do some changes there, so I'm gonna be talking about the changes that I did. But you don't actually need actually any level on this Robin if you wanna build this team because the passive of Robin is actually good just at level 1 because you just need the defense up level 3 and that doesn't change. What changed with the levels is the guard up, but it's not really that essential. And the same for the special. She gives the special bind at level 1 80%, 12 seconds, doesn't change anything. So yeah, and the only thing that changes with the levels in the special is the guard up, but again, you don't really care that much about it. So the Robin doesn't need any levels, and I tested it. Yeah, it was working quite well, but I decided to do some different variation because I didn't like to have to invest a lot in that chopper. The final team was actually this. I wanted to replace the Robin in the starting team. This way I could have the Shirahoshi in the bench, which I think is actually one of the best healers in the game, apart from Otama. Also, the Otama is the last unit in the bench, but it could be in the middle or something like this. I think I'm gonna put her in the middle because she's really nice. She's actually, I think, the best healer in the game, but as she only heals one unit, sometimes it's better um, to use some other priorities. One unit that actually really surprised me was, for example, this chopper, which is basically a 3 times heal. Yeah, the cooldown is high, so if he gets to heal, he heals quite a bit. If he dies, the Sheer Hoshi comes in almost fully max, so that's really nice. And the Kuma actually really surprised me a lot. You're gonna be thinking, what is this guy doing investing in all these units? But I mean, it's for content sake, and this way is actually kind of fun to test these variations and try to make a unit work. And as I mentioned at the start of the video, it's not legends, so it doesn't take as much scrolls and stuff like that. I am much more hesitant in investing in a legend just to test it, but on a rare recruit or Fortnite unit or stuff like that, it's not that big of a problem. So yeah, defense up level 6 with the special, it's actually really cool, and some healing actually it's nice, and the defense stat of this unit is actually quite high, and the passive, you don't really need to invest in the passive because you just want that defense up level 1, but it's an RCB up buff, so yeah, the chopper is healing a little bit more because his own passive of chopper is also buffing their RCB, but it's not that essential. So let's see how it actually performs. So as I mentioned, I'm gonna be losing these matches because I'm using this team as an attacking team. Ideally, this is just a defense team. Anytime you go up and use this team as an attack, you're definitely gonna be dying. Well, losing. I mean, so ideally, we wanna stall out some teams. We are not gonna go up against slashers, at least the full meta slashers, because I saw that it was not really working that well against them. So yeah, also one thing that I want to mention is that this team, you just care about the main 5 units in the team, so you don't care about the bench because you're not gonna be killing any unit, and that's actually a quite a nice feeling, to be honest, because it's just like Okay, like I just want to stall you out, so I do not have to worry if you have a bench nuke or stuff like that. It's not that big of a problem. For example, here we have a rainbow team, and some people might actually be using this rainbow team as an attacking team actually, with a different bench. I think, for example, a PP Whitebeard instead of the Cat Viper, but and some people might actually be using these teams, but we do not care at all on the bench that they have because we are not gonna be killing any unit, so it doesn't matter that they don't have a PP Whitebeard. I normally they will be attacking with a PP Whitebeard there, but yeah, the PP Whitebeard is never gonna be active anyway against this team. So yeah, one thing that I have been seeing is that fixed damage is actually quite scary when you're using this team as a defense. So yeah, Roger is a big problem, but if it's only Roger, it's not that big of a problem. The problem is, for example, if you combine Roger with B3 Law or even Roger with Odin, because it's fixed damage guaranteed to all enemies. So it's kind of a scary thing. And yeah, all these health cuts, we don't really care that much because we have some pretty substantial heals. And yeah, you might say, okay, it's a bad idea to actually use healers and B2 Rayleigh 6 Plus at the same time, but it's actually not because a lot of the teams that people use today, nowadays, have a lot of damage. So uh, a lot of the times when you're healing the Rayleigh, you're not getting him over the 60%, and a lot of the times, even if you are, it's not that big of a deal because he's gonna get under 60% really, really fast again. And because it's only a stalling out thing, we need actually the defense that really can provide, but also be consistently healing our units. Even though the Rayleigh is over 60%, we need to heal that Nekomamushi because now he dies. It's actually good because we get the Shirahoshi, which will be really helpful in healing Shangstru and Rayleigh. With this team, it's really important that Shangstru and Rayleigh do not die. If only one of them dies, you might be okay, but if both of them die, you're probably in a lot of trouble. But here we're gonna be massively healing our units, so that's gonna be helping us a lot. We're gonna have to tank the special of Dofi again, but we have some defense, so it's not a big problem. And here, let's see. Okay, we will have to tank the fixed damage from Roger, but hopefully we will get some heal now with the Chopper or with the Kuma. So yeah, I think both of them. The Kuma is actually not healing that much, but it's giving a lot of defense. Even with the defense down level 6 on the last 30 seconds, we get a lot, and then we get some extra heal. We are at full HP, not a big problem. They are only gonna be activating once again, the Dofi and the Roger, so, and possibly the Rayleigh, but it's not gonna be anything at all. So for example, against rainbow teams, this team can really work really well as a defense. The problem that I see with these teams is that, I mean, I wouldn't really use a rainbow team against a healing based team, but I don't know, like it's really interesting at least to see how this team can actually perform. And I tested it against a different rainbow teams and stuff like that, and in teams and stuff like that, and it was working really, really nicely. Now I don't think, for example, any we're gonna be losing any of other of our units because this heal will actually prevent any of our units from dying from the fixed damage of Rayleigh, and that's gonna be it. And we would have gone to full HP again with the special of Shirahoshi that was just coming, because Shirahoshi can actually heal for over 5k HP, so that's obviously a lot. So this is an example of how this healing based team performs. Really, really amazing. And I'm gonna be showing you now some screenshots of this team actually, stalling out some other teams, and yeah. For example, here I have the original idea, which was using this Robin, and yeah, I stalled out the slasher team, but it was kind of a weird slasher team because it didn't have Roger. So I think if against slasher teams that don't have Roger, which is not that common, you can do some cool stuff with it, but it's the only time that I managed to stall out some slasher team. But yeah, here for example, I'm stalling out an in team. As you can see, it's only 3 seconds in the clock, and it's an in team, and I have all the 5 units with really, really good stats. So yeah, and the dove is not even gonna be activating or anything. Here I stalled out a rainbow team, pretty common rainbow team that people use as an attack. I managed to stall it out. And here another rainbow team, also a pretty common one, and the same. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As I mentioned, I think the first and the third one were actually the best options that you can run, for example against slashers, but the second one is also quite interesting because it can get a lot of wins. And yeah, it's true that it's more like a rodent team, so it's kind of scary because a lot of people know the powerful combination of both Roger and Odin. But as it's done the only two units in the slasher team that that team has, I think it could be working also quite well. So and the last one was more of a curiosity, but it's kind of funny to test these kind of teams. And yeah, I mean you can put it in the defense if you're not that high ranked, which is sometimes is actually a good thing to do because you don't want to put the strongest defense team if you are like in, I don't know, a rank like I am right now, because nobody's gonna be attacking these teams. Like people are gonna be attacking the quote unquote easy teams or what they think are easy teams. So those kind of weird, really weird looking teams like that last one that I showed can actually bait some people into attacking it, for example, with an in team or with a rainbow team, and it actually works really well, and you can stall them out. So I haven't tried it, but I think it should be working that way. But the thing is, a lot of people right now are using slashers, so maybe you don't get as much as many defenses. But yeah, so as I mentioned at the start of the video, if you wanna enter in this process and maybe I showcase your team in the next video or the next episode of this series, you just have to subscribe and then leave a comment down below with your idea, and or send me a message or Twitter or Instagram. And yeah, that's it. It's really easy to do. And don't worry if I didn't showcase, for example, you send me a suggestion and I didn't showcase your video. It might be because I'm missing some of the units, and probably I will have commented that on your comment. And also, it could be that I have to invest on a lot of units to test that team, and I'm waiting a little bit on that, but probably in the future I will test that team. And also it can be that it's a very similar team that one that I showcased, or a very similar idea, so I included it that a little bit in that. So yeah, without further ado, let's actually end this video. So as always, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.